Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Muna Shibil and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become the highest possible version of yourself so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I want to talk about the difference between law of attraction and law of assumption and which one I personally prefer more. But before we get started, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. I also want you to know that I have a TikTok channel. The link is in the description below. I do share daily TikToks, about 2 to 3 videos every single day to help you stay on track. So please do check out my channel. The link is in the description below. I also do offer video and email coaching, so please do check out my services. They are also linked below. So let's get started. When it comes to the law of attraction versus the law of assumption, many people ask me which one I think is better. In my personal opinion, I see that they are actually both delivering somewhat of the same message, but it's in a different way, in a way that our physical mind can interpret based on where we are on our journey. I personally believe that law of assumption is probably a bit more advanced than law of attraction, because it does talk about concepts that may be more difficult for a person who's just starting out to understand. However, that is not necessarily the case. So if you are just starting out and you resonate with law of assumption, that is perfectly okay. I just think that as you are expanding and learning more, sometimes concepts will resonate more with you later on in your journey than they are in the beginning. It's all about what you have been exposed to since you were a younger person. So for example, those people who have had to unlearn a lot of the old things may have found adopting all these concepts to be more difficult than, say, a child who is now learning about all of this. So there is an element of unlearning, and sometimes you need to receive the teachings based on where you are in that moment, based on your beliefs. So to me, they both give you the same thing. I will tell you at the end of the video which one I personally resonate with more at this point in my journey. But again, this is all a personal preference and you will choose which one you resonate with more. But sometimes people don't understand the difference, and so this will help to some extent, based on my understanding, explain to you what I see to be the main differences. And of course, I do also suggest you research on the internet to find out more. So let's start with the first thing. As you know, the teachings of law of attraction have been around for centuries, and it became much more common for people to know about these in mid to the end of 20th century, and they became mainstream probably around the time that the book The Secret came out, and that's when practically everyone now knows about it. But the teachings have been around for a very long time, and we are always manifesting regardless of whether we know about it or not. So obviously it doesn't mean that just because we didn't know it existed or that we understood it, it does not mean that we were not manifesting, because that's the laws of the universe. It's like the law of gravity. You don't apply it. It's something that just is. And your understanding of it is what makes a difference. When it comes to law of assumption, the law of assumption is mostly based on the teachings of Neville Goddard, who is a 20th century New Thought author who spoke a lot about the Bible, mysticism, and self-help. And his teachings have recently become also quite mainstream. And many of the people who were once talking about law of attraction have shifted into talking about law of assumption for the reasons I mentioned earlier in the video. When it comes to the main differences, the law of attraction talks about thoughts. So positive thoughts attract positive experiences, while negative thoughts attract negative experiences. The concept taught by law of attraction is that of thought. Whereas in law of assumption, it is not so much the thoughts that you're thinking on the conscious level, it's more about the inner assumptions. The inner assumptions you have about everything. It could be in relation to yourself, it could be in relation to other people, it could be in relation to circumstances in general. Law of assumption is you are assuming everything that you are experiencing in your physical reality. And it's actually much more an inner state than a conscious thought. That's the first difference. The second difference is the concept of vibration. In law of attraction teachings, it is almost implied that your physical reality is static and then you are drawing to you situations and experiences that match your vibration. Whereas in law of assumption, the concept of physical reality is regarded as an illusion. It's more a projection of what's going on internally. There is no physical reality. It's all a reflection of what's going on in your inner assumptions, in your inner state. So it is not so much a physical reality where everyone is co-creating. It is purely my reality that is a reflection of what's going on based on my inner thoughts. And actually in quantum mechanics, there is the theory of the observer, that physical reality does not exist separate from the observer or the perceiver. So what you see as physical reality all around you is not actually real. It's all just an illusion. So it kind of does align with the concept of law of assumption. Now, I want to emphasize that the law of attraction teachings are also based on how people have interpreted them. So it's not necessarily 100% as I am explaining it, but this is based on common interpretation, and this is what I'm sharing with you here. The third difference, when it comes to law of attraction, it feels like there is an external force, what we call the universe. There is something external that's bringing to you what you want when you do the work. In law of assumption, it's all your inner state. The universe is within you. You are the one who is creating it. You're the creator of your reality. You are the operant power. There is nothing external to you. So you are assuming you're creating your reality based on your inner assumptions. It's all within you. There's nothing external. So that's why it's not so much that you're attracting something external to you, you're assuming it and then it's showing up in your reality. You're not manifesting something outside of you. You're assuming it, and so your reality is accordingly changing, rather than you attracting something in this physical reality that is outside of you and bringing it to you. The fourth thing, in law of attraction, there is not much talk about free will, and if it is mentioned, there is the free will of others that plays a role in manifesting. To me, that was one of the things that was a bit of a part that I could not understand, because I'm super logic oriented. And so I could not understand how you could manifest anything that you want when others have free will, because then it means that you can't manifest everything that you want. You can only manifest based on the free will of other people. In law of assumption, there is no free will, because this reality is an illusion. It's not a physical, solid reality that we're all co-creating in. The reality is only existing through my perspective, and every other person is also doing the same in their perspective. But in my perspective, from my point of view, only my free will matters, because it's like you want to think of it as this is my movie and I am the lead actor in my movie, and then other people are co-creating in other dimensions and other parallel realities that are not linked to mine. And so a version of them is showing up in my movie, and only my free will matters. So the concept of free will is only relevant to the observer and perceiver in law of assumption. The fifth difference In law of attraction, there is a heavy focus on being in alignment, aligning with the thing that you want. And it means that I have to be in a positive place in order to manifest. This was one of the things that me and my friends struggled with, because we were always in a positive place. We were always working on our alignment. We were always in a feel-good place, but yet we were still not manifesting. So the law of attraction focuses a lot on that concept that if you are in alignment, then you will manifest. If you're not, you might manifest something you don't want, because of this concept of like attracts like. The thing is, this is not to discount the value of vibration. I absolutely believe that it is a beautiful way to live your life, to be in a positive place. However, it does not mean that if we fall out of alignment, we are going to manifest something negative. Because the thing with vibration, and that's the teachings of law of attraction, try to focus on vibration, because vibration represents how you're feeling emotionally. So it represents where your emotions are, and your emotions are always supposedly a reflection of what's going on in your conscious mind. So it's a way for you to practice understanding and knowing where your thoughts are going. Because as you're starting out, you may not realize that these thoughts are negative. So it's the way you feel is an indication of what's going on in your conscious thoughts. Now, when it comes to law of assumption does not particularly talk about vibration. Law of assumption talks about being in the state of the wish fulfilled. And being in the state of wish fulfilled is a place of content. It's not very high flying on the emotional vibrational scale. You're not always in a place of joy and passion and love, although of course, why not be in that place? But you don't have to be in that place. It's a place of feeling content. And as well, in law of assumption, everything is an assumption. So if I can build my own rules around manifesting, which is one of the things that's now very common in the teachings of many manifestation coaches. You say, well, I'm the one who decides that even if I'm out of alignment, I can manifest good things. So there's no more that pressure that I need to always feel good, because you know what? Sometimes you're not feeling good, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean you're going to manifest something that is negative. That's the fear that was in law of attraction. And I think a lot of the time we as humans misinterpret these teachings, or it's misperceived, or we try to over control things and feel bad that we are not able to do something. I'm just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. It doesn't mean I'm going to manifest horrible things. So there's that fear element that was there with respect to being in alignment that is not there in the law of assumption. Granted, you want to be in a state as if you have what you want. And when you have what you want, you're going to feel content. You're not going to be feeling the lack. So again, there is an element of feeling good. Like you want to feel some level of content, right? But it's not enough on its own. That's why the first thing we spoke about are the inner assumptions. The inner assumptions are the conscious and subconscious things that we're assuming all the time. Whereas in law of attraction, it's more about thought. In law of attraction, there's a lot of focus on doing the work. Meditating, being in a feel-good place, working on raising your vibration, controlling your thoughts. There's a lot of work, and when you do all that work, you're gonna get what you want. Whereas in law of assumption, that's not it. In law of assumption, I am creating in every moment. In every moment, I have the opportunity to create what I want by changing my assumptions. So I don't have to invest all this effort and time to do it. In every moment, I can be going to meet a friend and I can assume that we're gonna have a fabulous time, or I can assume that we're not going to have a fabulous time. It has nothing to do with what I've been practicing for the last 3 days. So in the law of attraction, my old self would have believed that I would have had to invest a lot of time to feel good, and then this is going to impact my future. No, it's not like that. The idea is in law of assumption, in every moment you have the opportunity to assume something desired and you create that. So there's none of that space of, oh God, something bad is going to happen because for the past few days I have not been feeling that great, and so now I'm going to meet up with my friend. God knows what's going to happen. It's not like that. Mind you, I want to add something here. There are probably a lot of people who absolutely do not see this in the law of attraction. It's all about what resonates with you. I'm never someone who's going to come and tell you choose law of attraction over law of assumption, but I'm just showing how sometimes on our journey we build up beliefs that make it harder for us to integrate the teachings of one concept over the other. It's all about where we are in our journey. If you are a follower of Abraham Hicks, there's in the teachings a lot of focus on the vortex. So everything that you want is saved for you in this place where once you get into alignment, it will show up in your reality. In law of assumption, it is spoken in a somewhat different way. Your physical reality is going to morph based on what you're feeling on the inside, based on your inner assumptions, based on your inner state, which is a reflection of your inner assumptions and feeling like you already have what you want. And so it's not so much that something is saved, it just will morph to reflect your inner assumptions if you are consistent in that. I want to also add, for law of assumption, everything is an assumption. So even if I assume that I need to do a lot of work in order to manifest, then that is what you're going to manifest. So here, even the rules of manifesting are an assumption. Literally every single thing is an assumption. So you set your own rules. You can assume that you manifest everything instantly and then you will be able to do that. It's all about your assumptions, where they go, even when it comes to manifesting. This represents, in a nutshell, what are the main differences. I hope I've done it justice. Please feel free to share your comments below. This is based on my interpretation. You probably have an idea what it is that I am leaning more towards, and of course, it's the law of assumption. For me personally, I prefer the law of assumption because it feels a lot easier, it feels a lot lighter, it feels that everything is just an assumption and then you can change it instantly. You don't need to always be feeling good. You will not necessarily attract negative things if your thoughts are going in a negative place. It's more about predominantly where you are. Although I want to add that the law of attraction does state that it's also what you're predominantly thinking. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.